So we've gone through and we have talked about each of the different transformations that we're going to have to deal with. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have some pictures and we're going to have to pick out what happened. And then more importantly, we're going to have to say whether or not they were rigid motion or not. And if you remember correctly, rigid motions are when the size and shape stays the same. So what we're looking for is when are there dilations? And then we have to say, if there is one, is it scale factor 1 or not? Because if it's scale factor 1, then it's rigid motion. Remember, -1 behaves the same. Anything else is not a rigid motion. All right, so that's what we're looking for when it asks us that question. All right, so then this other piece that we're going to introduce now that we haven't talked about before is this whole concept of direct and indirect. So direct and indirect is really simple to deal with, and I've actually come up with a way that it's better than what I normally do. So let's just say I have a reflection for a second, and then basically what I want you to do is, as you do these problems, I want you to, look at the videos and pay attention to what's going on so that we can tell. And let's say I have a triangle that sits right here, and I'm going to reflect it over the y-axis. So it's going to end up looking like a sketch I can do here. Like this, and that's A, that's B, and that's C. So that'd be A prime, that'd be B prime, and that'd be C prime. So I used to just talk about the letters, but what I'm thinking now is that if we gave each corner a color, all right, so they match up, you can start at one of the colors. All right, I always just start up near the top. So yellow, and I'm going to go clockwise, and I go yellow, then green, then blue. So if the other one matches up yellow, green, blue, then it's direct. If it doesn't match up yellow, green, blue, then it's indirect. All right. So I start at the same color, yellow, and I go the same direction. And this time I get yellow, blue, green. All right. So those colors are in the opposite order. All right. So I'm going to write down opposite order. So it's indirect. If it was the same order, it would be direct. All right. So if the same order, then it's direct. Now, in terms of the importance of this, it's not high because they don't ask this all that often. They ask rigid motion constantly. And by they, I mean the Regents exam. Okay, we're going to ask rigid motion constantly too. You're probably not going to see direct or indirect on one of our exams. I'll ask you some questions on it in the quizzes you take and the things like that, just to practice so that we know what it is. But it's not high on the level of things that we need to know, because it's just not something that gets asked a lot of the Regents exam, and that's ultimately what we're trying to prepare you guys for. So take a look at these, take your time, all right? See if you can come up with the answers to them, and if you can, keep moving on and try some more things, all right?